NBC Sports, home of the Olympic Games, the NHL, the PGA Tour, Premier League, and Primetime's #1 show, Sunday Night Football, only on NBC.
This is Football Night in America, presented by Progressive.
Super Wildcard Weekend wraps up in Pittsburgh as the Cleveland Browns get set to take on the Steelers for the second straight week. Two-time Super Bowl champ Ben Roethlisberger is now 38, and he is ready to go after resting last Sunday. That game was a must-win for the Browns, and Baker Mayfield delivered, helping to snap a 17-year playoff drought. For Cleveland, though, the curveballs just keep on coming. Tonight, special teams coordinator Mike Priefer is in charge because head coach Kevin Stefanski tested positive for COVID. Now, if Priefer and the Browns can pull off the upset, they'll face the top-seeded Chiefs. If Pittsburgh wins, they'll head to Buffalo in the divisional round. Earlier today, Lamar Jackson broke through as the Ravens beat the Titans. We'll show you highlights in a bit. Tonight, it's the final wildcard game, and we have got you covered on NBC, on Peacock, and Telemundo as we welcome you to Football Night in America. Hello, everyone. Liam McHugh, Tony Dungy, Chris Sims. The Browns, they're back in the playoffs, and their head coach has to watch from home. So Kevin Stefanski, he is out. Mike Priefer, he's in charge. Alex Van Pelt's going to call the plays. In-game impact.
Well, calling the plays won't be a problem. The game plan is set. It's on the charts. What Mike Priefer is going to have to do is manage the game, the situations. When do I call timeout? Do I go for it on 4th down? When do I challenge? And that's tough for a new guy. But I'm sure what Kevin Stefanski said is, Mike, be yourself. I was in that situation one time. I had to miss a game in 2005. I told Jim Caldwell, don't do what you think I would do. Trust your instincts. You're in charge because you're the man. You call the game the way you think it should be.
Chris, what does this mean for Baker Mayfield?
Well, Coach said it. The game planning, everything like that's set. So he's okay from that standpoint. I'll tell you, as a quarterback where it's going to affect him, you get very familiar with that ear and that sound in your ear all year long. Very comforting voice. And then it's the little nuances and tidbits a play caller can give a quarterback. Hey, watch out for this defense. Don't forget this check. Hey, when they play this, look for the nickel blitzer. Those type of things that Baker Mayfield's going to miss tonight. But we'll see. Hopefully they can overcome it.
And on the other side of the ball, I know Mike Tomlin very well. I know what he's telling his team. Don't worry about their other coach not being here. You know what you guys would do if I wasn't here. You'd go out and win the game. We've got to get ready for the Cleveland Browns. Forget about who's not here.
No doubt.
You have to continue to adapt. Changes keep coming. We have changes. Tony was on the road. He's back in the studio. And now Rodney Harrison is on the road. He is in Pittsburgh alongside Jack Collinsworth, a place where the Browns haven't won since 2003. Jack, hello.
Hello to you, Liam. And so for the Browns, it's just been a strange week. They were preparing by video call until Friday. What's the value of those practices before a big game like this?
Man, I tell you this, I couldn't practice. I could not play a game without practice, and it's so important. Once you get on that football field, you get a chance to interact with your teammates. You get a chance to communicate, and I think that helps build confidence going into the game.
They got a little shot of life talking about the Browns from Juju Smith-Schuster, comparing this to the same old Browns. What'd you think of what he said?
I didn't like it. I thought it was just unnecessary. I thought it was very disrespectful. This is an 11-5 team. They deserve to be in the playoffs. And if I'm Juju Smith-Schuster, when I'm coming across the middle, I'm looking like this because you know there's going to be a linebacker and safety ready to take him out.
Rod, let's go on the field, presented by Progressive. Start with the soul of this Browns team and Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, and I think he's done a great job mentoring these young wide receivers. I love his willingness to step up in the run game and block. And he makes a lot of tough catches going across the middle.
Then you got Chase Claypool on the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. And Chase Claypool is a guy, he is the go-to playmaker down the field for Ben Roethlisberger. He's also the guy that can catch the short pass and make something happen. But watch out for him tonight if he gets one-on-one coverage.
For the Browns defense dealing with that passing game, they don't have two of their top corners. They don't have Olivier Vernon, their pass rusher. So Myles Garrett, their leading sacker in the regular season, he's got to step up and get pressure on Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, Myles Garrett's a stud. Pittsburgh's got their own stud in the interior part of their defensive line. And he's going to have his hands full tonight, too. With that run game, the play-action effect, Coach, I think we both agree he's got to play well.
Two big backs for Cleveland. Cam Hayward has got to be the man to lock down that line of scrimmage for the Steeler defense.
You know the drill, guys. The standard is the standard for this man. Mike Tomlin, no losing seasons. This is his 9th trip to the playoffs. Chiefs, and we will hear from his Defensive Player of the Year candidate, TJ Watt, next.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. And by Jersey Mike Subs, be a sub above.
This season, our team is getting ready for game day a little differently. But with our in-depth coverage and live updates of all the action,
Looking good, Dad.
Here we go.
our Sunday night crew is ready to put the home in home team.
There we go, team.
Where's the pizza?
This is Football Night in America, presented by Progressive.
Well, this year, Baker Mayfield will have to go 3 rounds against the Steeler defense that's been one of the best. TJ Watt leads that group, and the race for Defensive Player of the Year are Rodney Harrison, caught up with this year's sack king.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way.
First, I'd like to say congratulations to your second playoff opportunity. How does it feel?
Thank you. It's a lot different this time around. Being in my 4th year, I feel like I'm very charged up and I'm ready to go for playoffs this time around. I'm excited.
And here's sack win. Win, 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 win.
What's the difference between the Browns last year compared to this year?
I think they're able to really run the ball very effectively. Baker Mayfield's a very efficient player for them. He's been able to roll out, get out of the pocket, use his legs. I think that's the biggest challenge that he presents to us, but we're up for it.
You either with me or against me, though.
What's the best advice Big Bro JJ has given you?
I love you, bro. Let's go. Let's go. Shoes untied. 90's offside. Way offside.
Have fun. That's the most important thing. If you're not flying around having fun, celebrating after plays, I mean, it's so hard to make any play in the National Football League. When you make those plays, you got to have fun. You got to celebrate. And now more than ever, you have to bring the energy because we don't have many fans.
Something to something, I won.
Good luck this week, man. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Win, 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 win.
Great visit there with Mr. Watt. Nobody's playing better defense than TJ Watt right now. What separates him from other pass rushers, Rod?
He has no weaknesses. I mean, it's like he's just a baller, and I voted for him for Defensive Player of the Year. And even without Bud Dupree, he's still out there balling, making plays.
And for the Steelers, they really rested up last week, but early in the year, they were tough on Baker Mayfield. How did they frustrate him?
Absolutely. The defense is based off of pressure. It's trying to create turnovers and confusion. And TJ Watt, you see the speed, and forces Baker. Baker's trying to figure out, do I throw the ball out of bounds? Where do I throw it? He throws it between 4 people. Then you go to Minka Fitzpatrick, the all-pro safety. He's the leader in the back, and he does such a great job. He sees Baker Mayfield staring at the wide receiver. He's showing tremendous patience, and now just instincts, and we know what happens when he gets the ball in his hands. He turns defense into offense, and that's why he's the best playmaking safety in the NFL.
That's right. And this Steelers defense, they've caused more pressure than any team in football by far. And Liam, that's been a problem for one Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, we got a bad combo for Cleveland. Jack Steelers led the league in sacks for the 4th straight season. The Browns down one of their best offensive linemen. And for Baker Mayfield, his production and efficiency seem to dissolve when he's under pressure this season. Let's take a little bit further. Let's simplify the game powered by Microsoft Surface. Guys, clean pocket is going to be key. How does Cleveland keep Mayfield in his comfort zone?
Well, that's a good question, Liam. It's not easy, that's for sure. That's the big thing. And again, Pittsburgh wants to put Baker Mayfield in the shotgun so they can get those type of plays. But the big thing is they got to stop TJ Watt. That's where we got to go. And, Coach, let's look at how they're going to do it.
Well, first of all, they know TJ Watt is going to be on that defensive left side, and what he wants to do, as Rodney Harrison showed us, is use that speed and get to that spot 7 yards deep where he thinks Baker Mayfield is going to be. So one thing Cleveland can do is not put Baker there.
Don't put him there. Run fake at him. Make him respect the run a little bit, and now you get Baker on the edge.
Use your play action, then you can can use Kareem Hunt to get a double team, and you can get Mayfield out of the pocket where he's got more room and more vision.
More vision, easy completions, less bad things can happen against this Steelers defense.
So here's T.J. Watt here now, a lot of room and an easy throw. This is what Cleveland should do, especially early in the game. Frustrate Watt, get Baker some easy completion.
Yeah, that's right. Don't let this Steelers defense get off and let them score points and cause turnovers and get their momentum going, Liam.
All right, we're seeing Baker Mayfield on the field. Let's take things off the field right now. Bring in Mike Florio. Mike, we spoke 24 hours ago about the 6 head coaching vacancies in the NFL. Are we on the verge of adding a 7th at this point?
There could be a 7th, Liam. There was a report earlier today from ESPN that Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie still could make a coaching change and part ways with Doug Peterson after 5 seasons for Peterson on the job. I asked the Eagles for comment. They had none officially, and then I did a little digging, and I came to the conclusion that, indeed, Lurie could still fire Doug Peterson. They are having ongoing conversations. They're going to be talking again soon, and Lurie is concerned about Peterson's vision for the team, not just at the quarterback position, the entire team. How will Peterson get the Eagles back to the status of being a contender?
Yeah, 3 years ago, they won the Super Bowl. 2 years ago, the two of us were in Kansas City for a playoff game talking about the possibility of Eric Bieniemy becoming a head coach. Then, last year in the playoffs, we were talking about it again. All right, fast forward to this year. Right now, what are his prospects?
You know, a week ago, it looked like he was going to be one of the surefire new head coaches for one of the 6 teams looking. There's now an emerging sense that Eric Bieniemy is going to be shut out again for each of the jobs. He's interviewed for 5. The Texans, the only team not to interview him at all. And I'm told that he's been privately telling people he's content to stay with the Chiefs until the perfect job comes along. And one other coaching note, Liam, as it relates to the New York Jets, I'm told that over the past month or so, they had been doing a lot of work on Iowa State coach Matt Campbell, and they were very, very interested in talking to him and potentially hiring him. As of yesterday, there was a report there was going to be an interview, and there was another report there won't be an interview, and today there was a statement from Campbell on Twitter that seems to make it pretty clear he's not going anywhere, at least for now.
Campbell 9-3 at Iowa State. They won the Fiesta Bowl. Mike Florio, thanks so much. Make sure to check out ProFootballTalk.com for all the latest on the coaching news. And a reminder that the hit TV show The Office is now streaming exclusively on Peacock. A Dunder Mifflin truck has traveled from its home in Scranton to Heinz Field to help give back to the Pittsburgh community. Peacock is donating $10,000 as well as office supplies to the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. To support food banks in your area, go to feedingamerica.org. And if you want more of The Office, sign up for Peacock at peacocktv.com. Now, tonight's game is also on Peacock. And right afterwards, don't miss a special post-game show with Michael Smith and Michael Holley from Brother From Another. They will be joined by Rich Eisen. That is right after the game on Peacock.
Simplify the game. Powered by Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider of the NFL.
Welcome back. Let's take a trip back in time. Cleveland's last playoff game 18 years ago, also against Pittsburgh in the wild card. Kelly Holcomb thrown all over the place.
My old Tampa quarterback gunslinging out there.
This was a fun game to watch. I can still remember sitting on the couch in college watching it.
429 yards for Kelly Holcomb, but Tommy Maddox orchestrates the comeback.
Was that Hines?
That's Hines.
What's up, Hines?
Pittsburgh scores 2 touchdowns in the final 4 minutes to win that game.
Chris FM.
Oh, Chris FM. There he is. I'm not trying to say his name. I know that.
It's been a while. Myles Garrett had just turned 7 years old when that game was played. He's now 25. He's one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL, and he is more than ready to make his playoff debut.
An amazing story.
We got no other option. Winning race.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm excited.
They're going to the playoffs.
It's been a long time. Never seen those guys celebrate like that. That happy.
12,000 are going crazy.
I hope to see that at least 3 or 4 more weeks.
What's rule number 1 when you're a pass rusher with Big Ben Roethlisberger?
Man, take the ball from him.
From behind, the ball is loose.
He'll try and extend the play, and sometimes he doesn't treat the ball as carefully as he should. You know, when those opportunities arise, you gotta capitalize.
Money. Myles Garrett's got him.
What made you really start to get close with Baker Mayfield?
He's a competitor. I like guys who got a little dog in them, a little fiery streak.
He's going to roll right. Touchdown!
They push through anything, whatever they have to make it happen.
What have you heard about the difference between regular season and postseason football?
Hell, I've had no one here to tell me the difference. It's a first for most of us, but it's still just football. You know who you are long before you get to the playoffs, and you just got to be who you are.
Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over.
Okay, so he can't get advice from his teammates on what to do in the playoffs. Probably wondering what this defense should do when you're down two corners. You're down Olivier Vernon. What would you tell him?
He would get advice from Kevin Stefanski. If I was Kevin, I would say, hey, I'm not going to be there. You're down on some teammates. Myles Garrett, you have to be you've got to go out and win the game for us. It's going to be a passing game. We need pressure from you tonight.
On the other side, Pittsburgh Steelers, this offense, listen, they've gone away from the run. They like the short, quick throws. What should they do tonight?
Well, they got to change it up to not be too predictable. That's the big thing. And I think it's got to be a little more of an aggressive approach to throw the ball down the field. You'll see here, deep shots by the Steelers. I like this. Six-man protection, make Big Ben feel comfortable, chase Claypool one-on-one, out and up, big-time completion. Then you got, the pump fake, coach, and look what it does to the defense.
Yes, Cleveland has seen all these short passes on tape. This pump fake could be very effective. Get those defenders to bite early.
Definitely. All the short passes, they're going to be looking to drive up on that. So you got to threaten them with stuff down the field. Hey, my guy's just faster than your guy, and we're going to throw it up. There's nothing wrong with just playing one-on-one football. Maybe even you draw a pass interference penalty, but that has to change within the rhythm of their offense.
Yes, and if you're throwing 40 passes a game, as we see in the graphic, they can't all be short nickel and dime passes. You've got to push the ball up the field some.
Yes.
Want to welcome all of you that just watched the Saints beat the Bears. We'll have those highlights in a moment. You joined us at the right time because these two are about to put some money in your pocket. It is time for Sunday Night 7, another chance to grab $100,000. All right, let's talk about Nick Chubb, how many rushing yards and how many rushing TDs. Tony, let's start with the yards.
Well, Cleveland is going to run the ball, but it's a two-headed monster. Kareem Hunt will also get some carries, so I think Nick Chubb will be between 80 and 94. He won't get to 100.
Yeah, I hear you there, Coach. When it comes to touchdowns, I'm only to give him one. I mean, he's a stud. He's awesome. I know that. But this is the Steelers, and they're going to be all in on stopping Nick Chubb, especially when they get in that red area. I think their goal is going to be let Baker throw it in.
Really going out on a limb.
I know.
88.9 yards and one touchdown per game. All right.
He's going to hit his average.
Make sure you make your picks on the NBC Sports Predictor app. Still ahead, highlights from the action earlier today. Lamar Jackson avenged last year's playoff loss with a huge game against the Titans. And in New Orleans, the Saints dominated on both sides of the ball to eliminate the Bears.
Playoff weekend! Folks, this time, the Browns are for real.
If you're from Cleveland, you're born being a Browns fan.
Elway, 98 yards. Fumble the ball. Oh,
This is well overdue.
Baker laid it right in the breadbasket there.
There's been a lot of criticism the last few years. There's some haters, if somebody can say that. I think he's a great player all around.
It's our time now.
Oh, this city needs a playoff win.
How do you guys feel about the Steelers?
Where should I start?
The Steelers are our nemesis.
I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers.
My dad said, I don't care what team you root for, but you will hate the Steelers. For the longest time, we've kind of had a rivalry with Pittsburgh, but they probably didn't think too much of us.
an amazing story.
Please go to a Super Bowl before I leave the earth.
Super Bowl's a way off. How about winning a playoff game? The Browns haven't won one of those since a few months before Baker Mayfield was born. Closing down the final wild card game, Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers looking for their first playoff win since the 2016 season. Kickoff is coming up, but first the highlights. NFC, the Saints, they are healthy. Michael Thomas activated off injured reserve, hasn't played since week 14. Drew Brees says he's back in the game. Let's find him.
Yeah, let's find him. Let's go to my go-to guy there. Great play, though. Just short pass, turns it upfield. field, runs in the end zone.
Later on in the first, trickery from Chicago. David Montgomery, Cordero Patterson, then back to Trubisky.
And you're thinking, whoa, here we go. We got a game here. The Bears look pretty good, and he drops it. And that was a huge opportunity to put a lot of pressure on the Saints early on in this football game.
Javon Williams cannot believe it. Bears fans can't either. Second half, Taysom Hill in the offense. 4th and short, Tony.
And a mistake by the Bears defense. There's no way they're going to run this play. They're only trying to draw you offside. Stay onside, Chuck Pagano says.
Pagano was livid, and the Saints would take advantage. It's Breeze to Latavius Murray.
What a play by Drew Brees, Liam. Latavius Murray's blocking. This is where you know the guy's got a Hall of Fame brain. He realizes where all 5 eligibles are.
Take a knee, put it away, give it to Alvin Kamara.
Nose for the end zone, runs tough for a small guy down in the red zone. That's the Saints offense.
And they are ready. Brady. Baltimore, Tennessee, Lamar Jackson trying to change the narrative that he can't win in the postseason. First quarter, it's Jackson looking for Miles Boykin. And Chris, this is not even close.
Oh, not even close. Off target. Hey, there's no other way to say this. He just threw a duck right here. And their offense, and he was struggling early.
Butler, 4 interceptions during the regular season, gets one there. Bad throw by Jackson, but Tony, he would redeem himself. Last play of the first quarter.
Yes, and this is an MVP-type play. Nothing's going right. 3rd and long, free rusher, roll out of the pocket, and throw a laser for a first down to keep the drive going.
That would lead to a field goal late in the second quarter. John Harbaugh called this the greatest run by a quarterback he's ever seen.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but it is a pretty good run when you go 48 yards through the entire defense.
The acceleration.
I want to know who he thinks is better, though. I want to know the runs he thinks are actually better.
We'll get to that after, but it's Jackson again on the ground.
Yeah, getting on the edge, Liam. This is something we had not seen from the Ravens against the Titans in 2 previous meetings. They found a way to do that today.
Baltimore, #1 rushing attack in the league. This time, give it to Dobbins.
The rookie has been awesome for them out of Ohio State. He's got speed and power. Great combination along with Lamar Jackson.
Time now for your Sunday Night Game Flow presented by Progressive. Derrick Henry, 2,000-yard season, but he was smothered in this game.
And the Baltimore game plan all day long. Stuff the line of scrimmage. Dare them to throw, Chris.
Yes, Baltimore's big guys, Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams, they won the war up front in this one.
18 carries, 40 yards. Feeling the frustration. That was your Progressive Game Flow. Interesting decision in the fourth quarter. Titans down 4, a little over 10 minutes to go, and they decide to punt at the Baltimore 40. You guys okay with this?
Yes, 1-score game. Chris, play defense. Trust your defense.
Right. The Baltimore Ravens offense wasn't kicking butt at that point. The Titans defense had been doing well.
They did get another shot, but Ryan Tannehill intercepted by Marcus Peters.
Marcus Peters, the corners for the Baltimore Ravens were phenomenal today, and of course now they're going to rub it into the Titans in that first matchup.
The logo payback, and then if you're going to seal the deal, why not have Lamar keep it?
Yeah, this was fitting into the game. Can Lamar win a playoff game? Can he come through under pressure? Well, he did today.
Yeah, be quiet, everybody.
Yes, please.
He is fired up, collects his first career playoff win, and you see the numbers for the 2 stars here. Derrick Henry, under 50 yards rushing. Lamar Jackson, 136 on the ground. That TD run of 48 yards. AFC, we've talked about the Chiefs, and then we put the Bills right below them. How much of a threat is this Baltimore Ravens team?
Well, I'll tell you, we've talked about it all through December, Chris.
Right.
Baltimore started to get it going, playing their rhythm, running the ball better, and their defense was outstanding today. I wouldn't want to play them.
Me neither, Coach. I'm with you. I mean, they're kind of peaking at the right time. They're healthy. And what else happened today? Lamar Jackson, Hollywood Brown got it going a little bit, make them even harder to defend. I wouldn't want to mess with Baltimore right now.
The game plan for everybody against Lamar, make him throw outside the numbers. Right. He did that today. He showed he could do that.
Ravens are rolling right now, but so are the Bills, so are the Chiefs. AFC very strong. We have the playoff schedule for the next round, the divisional round. Saturday, 4:35 Eastern on Fox. It is the Rams and the Packers. Our game, primetime Saturday night. It'll either be Baltimore or Pittsburgh against the Bills in Buffalo. Then on Sunday, 3:05 Eastern, it'll be Cleveland or Baltimore against the Chiefs. And then Bucs, Saints, 6:40 Eastern on Fox. Let's focus on our game because it's time now for home team picks brought to you by Lowe's, and we begin out in Pittsburgh. Jack Collinsworth, who also has America's pick. Jack.
Well, Liam, 55% of the country is on Cleveland. Surprisingly, Baker Mayfield played out of his mind to get this team to the playoffs, but I'm looking at the boss man. Coach Stefanski is headed to his basement for this game. Coach Tomlin, he's headed to the Hall of Fame. I'm on the Steelers, Rod. What about you?
Is that right? I want to see if anybody else is brave enough to pick the Cleveland Browns like me. I think they're going to run the ball down their throat. I think Cleveland wins a close one.
Wow.
Mike Florio.
Guys, 55% of the country is about to find out what it means to not have your head coach present. Kevin Stefanski is not in the building. Good luck, Browns. Sorry, Browns, I got the Steelers.
Whole lot of people in Ohio active voting right now.
Really did it.
Yeah,
Man.
I can't go with them at this point. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I am too. I can't do it either. With the COVID-19 implications, Pittsburgh a week of rest, healthy, ready to go. I'm going with the Steelers.
Well, Mike Florio talked about Kevin Stefanski, the coach, not being there. I'm worried about those players who aren't there for Cleveland. They're missing a lot of people. Pittsburgh is rested and healthy. I think the Steelers are going to win.
Playoff experience, yes.
Rodney leaves the studio, goes to Pittsburgh, and then goes out and picks Cleveland to win it. He is with America on this one. And those were tonight's home team picks brought to you by Lowe's. It is just about time. We are set for the final game of Super Wild Card Weekend. Guys, 9 teams at this point still with a shot at the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh's back in the playoffs after a 2-year absence. Cleveland set for its first postseason game in 18 years. Al, Chris, and Michelle will have the call, and we will see you at the half.
This has been Football Night in America, presented by Progressive. Spanish language audio provided by Telemundo Deportes, or watch tonight's game in Spanish on Telemundo.